Good afternoon class, welcome to daily current affairs on the paper Hindu. So yeah, one of the student has asked me about to explain regarding the Adani issue. I would like to explain you the crux about it, and then once the entire issue is finalized, that means once the entire gist of it, like entire the issue when it comes to end, then we can discuss about it clearly. So as of now I would just like to tell you what has actually happened. Okay, so there is an international institute called Hindenburg. So what this particular institute does is that it will issue some kind of report on big corporate companies if they are into any kind of false practices or any kind of corruptions. So what this particular report has given is that this institute has given a report called Hindenburg report, and it said that Adani group of companies through their stock marketing or any other way in these stock selling and all, they have created huge fraudulent. So the accounts whatever they have, so we have to do this account, everything we have to make an account, right? Whatever the inflow of money is there, whatever the outflow of money is there, everything you should have a keen account. So in these accounts there was fraudulent through Adani group of companies. So that was the issue, and the fraudulent amount was $1.7 trillion. So that was the level of corruption which this particular company has showcased. So the level of fraudulent that Adani group of companies has done so far is around $1.7 trillion, which is around 218 billion. So especially through this stock marketing, all this fraudulent has happened. So now the issue, what is the issue here is that once this fraudulent has started, the banks, all these Adani group of companies, somewhat, not only this company, any other company would take loans. Okay, so here what happened, this company has taken huge loans from banks, and now this fraudulent has come into picture. So some other institute has showcased that Adani has committed to such kind of corruption, and not this year, since a span of 10 years. Since a decade they was having some kinds of issues with their accountancy. That is what they have told. So now suddenly what happened after knowing this particular issue, everything what, excuse me, yes, so all these stocks have come down. So whatever the stocks that they have invested have come down, and these company, it is a group of companies, and whatever the stocks on their particular household, every stock has come into down as of now. So that is what issue here. That is like a very crux of this particular issue which I have told, and once the entire this issue comes to an end, then I will be explaining it to you clearly. But as of now, that you need to understand is that because of that, currently issues in stock marketing where every one of the stock has come down. And the second thing is that SEBI, as of now the update is that the Parliament has asked SEBI to provide certain kinds of a written report on which how its customers will be protected from any kind of fraudulent in future. Do they have a proper mechanism or not? So that is what the current update is. Okay. So that is where the issue is currently. Next. Coming to today's paper news. Okay, fine. So today's news, former Supreme Court judge among 6 new governors appointed. So governors have been appointed, in which one of the Supreme Court former judge has also been appointed as governor. So as of now you don't need to remember anything of it, just you need to know that yes, they have been appointed. Okay, so nothing much to be remembered. If you want, we can see who are the people that have been appointed. So I will read out the names. Yeah, S. Abdul Nazir, Lieutenant General Parnaik, then LP Acharya, Radhakrishnan, SP Shukla, and GC Kataria. These are for the new roles of 6 Raj Bhavans. Okay, so yeah, they have been appointed. Nothing much that is of important. Supreme Court Judge, former Supreme Court Judge Abdul Nazir has been among one of the persons who has been elected as, who has been appointed as governor, and appointed by whom? President of India, Draupadi Murmu. So she is the one who will be appointing the president, whoever is the president, that person will be appointing particular governor. So yeah, the president also accepted the resignations of Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari and Ladakh Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur in the latest gubernatorial reshuffle. So upon the reshuffling, these people have submitted their own resignation. That is what you need to know. Nothing more than that in this particular article. Okay. Coming to next article. Yeah. 4G in the name only, data needles shutter in grey spots in India. So there is an alleging thing that this 4G, whatever the stipulated data speed that has been shown for 4G, so they have told that yes, this level of speed will be achieved for 4G. As of now, it is being not achieved. So what they are telling is, in the names only they are telling that this is a 4G net, but the net which is coming up is of speed which is less than 512 kbps, kilobytes per second. So that was the level of achieved data as of now is the one which is being alleged in this particular document. Here what is thing important that you need to know. So this can be added into your answer writing of criticizing the existing digital technology. So this is about your current data network. So for that you can add, and one thing which is important here is terminologies that you need to know. Here, places without cellular connectivity are called white spots. So what are white spots? The places where you don't have internet connectivity or cellular connectivity, that means you don't have proper signal, that is your white spots. And but harder to map are the grey spots, areas which show connected but may not let the users get enough of their access. So what are grey spots and how it is different from white spots? White spots is the places where you definitely won't get any kind of cellular connectivity, whereas grey spots are the areas which are difficult to be mapped. That means they will be near to some kind of network, but you don't get a proper amount of network. So a lot of buffering in your videos, or a lot of buffering when you are going to access any kind of website online. So that is the terminology which is important, which is white spots and grey spots. That is important in this particular article. Next. Local news not required. This is all skipped. Soon your editorials will also be started, so no need to worry. The team is working on that. Yes. As part of your SNT GS3, what is important we need to see. So what is this article about? Indo-US unmanned aerial vehicle to be flight tested this year. Unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, developed by whom? India and USA. So we both are collaborating with each other to work on unmanned aerial vehicle. So one of the unmanned aerial vehicle is your drone. So you don't have any, and what is unmanned? That means no human present in that particular aerial vehicle, but still it can be guided. Okay. So in such case, drone is one of the such cases of unmanned aerial vehicle, but there are some other fighter jets too. Okay. So a prototype of air-launched unmanned aerial vehicle developed jointly by India and United States likely to be flight tested later this year. So in this particular year, what they are going to do? They are going to test it. So they have got into particular development of this particular UAV, and now it is in the phase of testing. That you need to know. So who are working on that? India and US. So currently they have given different statement on specifications. Yeah. So in short, this unmanned aerial vehicle, air-launched unmanned aerial vehicle is called ALUAV, and that will be referred in this entire article. So I wanted to tell only one thing. Another thing here is that in 2021, Indian Ministry of Defence and US Department of Defence has signed a project agreement on ALUAV and the joint working group of air systems in the defence and trade unit initiative. So this is the development which India and US had on defense, and you also need to know that currently there is a conclave that is going to happen on defense only, where our friendly nations, we have, what is a conclave? So it is a secret meeting, okay, but we know what will be the possibilities, that means on what are the topics that currently we are working on, but internal meetings will not be televised and it will not be known properly. So currently in defense, the two things that is updated is, one thing is about development of airlift or air launch, unmanned aerial vehicle, and the other thing is this conclave, it's here I think, yeah, we will discuss about this article also. So what are the areas of defense cooperations between our friendly countries? So these both are important as part of your defense sector in your S&T. Next, so on the likely participation of US F-35 stealth aircraft in the Aero India 2023, a member of the delegation said that it would be the most advanced aircraft in the air show. The delegation also showed that it would be too premature for the US to offer F-35 to India. So F-35 is the one which is going to be launched, or it will be participating in our Aero India 2023. So the current happenings of this particular Aero India 2023, this one will be the one which will be fluid. This is also kind of stealth aircraft. What is stealth technology? So now if I am going to fly a particular aircraft, okay, so I wanted to fly it into some other country's boundary. If I am flying it, will the other country be able to identify it or not? Definitely they will be having some radars, they will be able to find out if there is any kind of, in the same way they have identified this air balloon also, no, they will have their own surveillance system. If there is any other foreign body entering into their own sovereignty, they will definitely be able to identify that. So what is stealth technology? It will make it invisible. So things or the components that we use to build this particular infrastructure, making that particular body invisible or unable to be identified by the existing radar or existing technologies. That is stealth technology. So one such stealth aircraft F-35 is going to be participated in India's Aero India 2023. So in that conclave it is going to be participated, and some of the people have told it is a premature, that means US is giving a lot of offerings to India in that way. So that level of technology is still not there in India, but yeah, they are telling that why should we offer that level of thing? That is a criticism. Some people are mentioning in that way, but yeah, we have a positive relation with US in this particular defense. Okay, fine, this is not required, so we can go. Next, Aero India flies high with 98 participating countries. So that is why I was telling about. So currently this is Indo-US UAV which we have spoke about, and in related to this is your Aero India 2023. What is this article? We will see. So Aero India flies with 98 participating countries including US. Okay. So PM to open a 5-day event today. MOU is estimated at 75,000 crore expected. India to pitch indigenous military hardware to friendly countries at the Defence Ministry's conclave. So here what will be the outcomes? The expected amount of defence investments into the country would be 78,000 crore because of this participatories, and the other one would be through this defence, through the friendly countries, we will be offering our indigenous military hardware to different defense ministries through our conclave, that means through this meeting. Okay, that is as part of your article. Yes, I have explained about it, Kriti Singh, ALUAV. So it is also a type of kind of drone, you can tell, but it is not a kind of drone, but it is an unmanned aerial vehicle, and the specifications are yet to be out because they are in the testing phase, yet to be out. Once that is succeeded, we will get all the specifications into your DRDO website. So you can once again go refer DRDO website where you can find out if there is any specifications mentioned about it. As of now, no. Okay, fine. Next, the 14th edition of biannual Aero India, which will see participation of 809. See, 809 Indian foreign companies spread over 35,000 square meter is going to expect to see 251 memorandum of understanding. So MOUs basically, current expectation of MOUs through this Aero India 2023 is around 251 MOUs, which is targeting about 75,000 crore. Okay, so that is the level of outcome, and today this particular Aero India has started. This particular show has been started So this 5 days will have entire focus on defense. Our entire newspaper, in this particular sector you will be having about our defense operations. So for this particular mains, this year mains, your defense in science and tech plays a huge role as of GS3 Science and Technology. So the Defence Ministries conclave, for which 32 foreign defence ministries have confirmed participating, India will make a strong pitch for indigenous military hardware, where we are going to share our indigenous technologies hardware to our friendly countries. So that are not totally developed countries, some countries which are trying to improve their current defense technologies, India will be providing them certain defense materials, indigenously developed defense materials. So as part of our Atmanirbhar Bharat and sectors that we are currently focusing on, that you need to understand. Here, just a moment. Yeah. Here. So the Defence Ministers conclave will address, just a moment. Yeah. So the Defence Ministers conclave will address what are the different perspectives or what are the different cooperations that they are going to have with these friendly nations. First thing, capacity building, so skill development. Through what? Through investments. So definitely we need certain kinds of investments to work on our any kind of capacity building, research or employment. For any other thing we need investments. So investments is the first thing which they are going to focus. Next, research and development, obviously. Joint ventures where we are going to work with different countries and collaborate to come into one different technology. So we have certain kind of technology, some other country have some other technology, will work together. Next, co-development, co-production, provisioning of defense equipment. So defense equipment will also be shared. Next, so training, space, artificial intelligence, maritime to grow together. So it is not only about this particular defense capacity building, it is about training, space, artificial intelligence and maritime security to grow together. So you need to understand that especially our bordering countries, neighboring countries are also being invited into this Defence Ministers conclave. That is why we are working on our maritime security too. Okay. Next, the annual Defence Innovation Event Manthan will bring the leading innovators, startups, MSMEs. So this word is again important, Manthan. So our annual Defence Innovation Event. So there is going to be an event called Manthan where different innovations or startups or privatization or promoting startups into MSMEs or any kind of startups into what? Defense sector development. So incubator centers where they will be giving certain, so this fresh startups or fresh minds, people especially are graduating or people who are interested into defense defense sector, they can come into these incubators, laboratories where they can share their knowledge and subject matter expertise will help them. Next, academia, investors, defense, aerospace ecosystem and a series of seminars are also being lined up on various themes. So that is about this article. Next. So about FATF, important for your security purpose. So we will see what is FATF also. Financial Action Task Force. For our money laundering or internal security, this plays very important role. Ma'am, are you from Kerala? No. Kriti Singh about Article 105. Recently Article 105 is seen in news. Why? What is Article 105? So basically it would deal about freedom of speech where people can, in the parliament people can speak anything, I think about that, and no person in the parliament would be liable to any kind of proceedings as far as they are in the session. I think it is about that article. I don't know why it is in news, I will check and I will let you know. Sure, okay. I think it is about that. Let us see about 105 article. I think it is about that only. 105 article gives immunity power to the member of parliament so that they cannot attend any proceedings in the court. Okay. So it's about that. I don't know why it is in the news. Let me check and I'll update you on that. You can at least provide me on what news you are currently, you want about, you want me to discuss. What is the exact news which you want me to discuss? So if you can tell me, we can discuss about that. Yes, Shivan Sharma, I am not from Kerala. Yeah, next. Okay, fine. Yes, Article 105 says about no member of parliament shall be liable to any proceedings in any court in respect to anything or any vote given by him in a parliament. No person shall be liable to in respect of publication under the authority of house of either of the parliament of any report paper proceedings. So yeah. So regarding that, regarding freedom of speech and expression in the parliament, it deals about that. That article deals about that only. So regarding which, if you have any doubts or any article, so I think it might be regarding BBC News or it might be regarding Adani's, maybe you are speaking about that, okay. And that is a constant struggle there. One or the other day it will be appearing. So if you can state me about what is the news, I can explain that, no problem. Central agencies gear up to strengthen framework as FATF evaluations near. So let's see about this article. Government agencies have expedited efforts to further strengthen the anti-money laundering. So yeah, Financial Action Task Force has done further measures on what? So to provide or to fight against money laundering and counter terror financing frameworks in the view of FATF. So assessment in India, the 4th round of mutual evaluations expected this particular year. So you will be getting a different note on this, where currently this 4th round of mutual evaluations will be expected to happen this year, and whenever the outcomes comes, then we will discuss about it. So this is about this particular article, and whenever this meeting is done, it would be important for your internal security. Okay, next. Border management, different kinds of task force or different kinds of policing will be there in each particular border. So you need to know in which particular border which kind of policing is there. So that can be army or that can be different police that can be there. Okay. So it is learned that Financial Intelligence Unit is organizing the meetings in the representatives from sectors such as real estate to ensure compliance with KYC. So regarding your know your complaint norms, they are working on that. Okay. Next. So yeah, this is all about your money laundering, any kind of corruptions. So this is a domino effect on Adani. Okay. Domino effect of Adani group of companies. That is why they are working on now on current reforms or any kind of changes on this issues of money laundering or any kind of corruption. Okay, fine. Next. India must plan for wheat export as record yield expected. So one thing you need to understand, why India's wheat export has grew hugely, that you need to know. So first thing, people all over the world, definitely we are growing, so we have growing food insecurity as of now, we have growing food insecurity, and lot of wheat, basically these food were being imported into different countries, especially from Ukraine and Russia. But due to the ongoing war, in the beginning stages of war, you would have known that lot of granaries there where the storage units where the rise of these wheat, wherever it is there, it is being spoiled. So you would have seen due to this military attack, there was a lot of grass that is being spoiled. So you need to understand that the exports or imports between Russia and, from the countries Russia and Ukraine has been drastically reduced this year, which has had a domino effect, again has domino effect on other countries' exports or imports. So as of now, this particular article showcases what would be India's growing demand or India's growing demand in the world arena regarding wheat. Okay. So no trace of any disease or locust, and despite late monsoon in many parts, soil moisture enabled farmers to plant on time this season, says who? Just a moment. Yeah, Arun Kumar Joshi. So, he is a professor. Farmer expect price to be good with situation in Ukraine still continuing last year. Market price was higher than MSP. So, what is this MSP? Minimum support price. So, this minimum support price is the place where farmers, once they're cultivating their own products, food products basically. So, there will be a particular list through which the government can procure their products with certain basic amount, certain basic money basically. So, what is the issue now? Not an issue basically. Here the wheat is being procured by the government with certain kinds of MSP, standard of minimum support price. The market price is more than the given MSP because of the growing demand of wheat. So, that is one of the effect of Ukraine war that you need to understand. So, he says that, so professor says that India need to work on still improving our wheat production. So, the reason is that, what is the issue here? Last year we faced a decrease in wheat production. What is the feedback that you are getting from the fields in this Rabi season? So, he's been asked that what would be your feedback? Last year we have seen a decrease in wheat production. So, what is the current condition? So, the reason for decrease or the feedback, as far as I know, the record production of wheat, the reason is that the area of cultivation has been increased. This year the wheat has been increased compared to last year. So, what would be the reason? We have growing population, then should basically be reducing, but why is it increasing? So, according to this particular person, he has told that the area of cultivation has been increased, and according to government estimates, the wheat has been sown 34 million hectares more in this particular Rabi season. So, it has been increased. Next, there is a confidence among farmers that they can take a good harvest, there will be market available for it. So, as the market prices are going, when the demand is increasing, definitely people will go to that particular area, they will try to produce more of that particular product. So, as the growing market price, farmers are showing huge interest to produce wheat in the market. So, that is about this article. Yeah, next. So, this one which I have already mentioned there, last year the market price was higher than the MSP, and this year also people believe that the market prices will be around MSP. We cannot export wheat from Karnal Bunt, a fungal disease infected areas in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana. So, Karnal Bunt is a disease, which is a disease, a fungal disease that is being affected to wheat, again important. Okay, can be directly asked, such questions can be asked in your prelims. Okay, next. EU, European Union. European Union cannot help prop up a repressive regime in Kabul. So, what was the issue? We will see. The European Union special envoy. So, what is Kabul? It is the capital city of Afghanistan. So, what is the issue with Afghanistan? Yes, in the budget, Kriti Singh, and what are the steps should be taken by Indians to store wheat for exportation? So, if you could see the budget session, currently there is a focus on infrastructure development for agriculture. Storage units have been increased. So, the allotment of funds for building up this cold storages have been increased. So, that would be one of the steps for wheat. Yeah, for wheat exportation, for that you need to have lot of storage capacities first, and as the market price is rising, it is the creation of awareness in the people about this market price. Not everyone are aware of it. So, existing schemes you should be making, enhancing or reaping the benefits of the existing schemes. That is what I would say. Okay. Next. So, European Union envoy for Afghanistan signals are possible. So, I was talking about this. Kabul is the capital city of Afghanistan. So, what is the issue with Afghanistan? Talibans. So, the growing issue with Talibans is that now they are not a proper government. So, they are one of the kind of terrorist group. I would not tell directly terrorist group, but these people have overtaken the existing government and they have formed their own laws with their own whims and fantasies, where currently the issue, the major issue is with girl children education. Women and girls were not allowed to go into education system or into jobs as of now. So, this kind of inhuman activities are being happening into Afghanistan, and this particular person says that India and EU should work on their growing ties with Afghanistan and should be able to address the issues that is happening in Afghanistan, especially towards girl or women in their terms of education and their rights. That is what about entirely this article is about. So India and the European Union need to speak up together on upholding human rights for Afghanistan, says who? European Union spokesperson, the special envoy for Afghanistan, Thomas Nicholson. So he is the person who has told who has visited Delhi for consultations on the way forward. So he has come to Delhi before going into Kabul. So that is when he has stated that India should be working with EU on what we can say on convincing Afghanistan to develop their humane activities. Okay. So yeah, he has mentioned that the Taliban's increased restrictions on women and the child education is a particular concern of EU. Such restrictions may lead to EU to change its policy on engagement and assistance with regime in Kabul. So whenever the women or whenever there is a huge inhumane situations, especially if you can see, the same thing has led issues with the crisis in Pakistan. So their economic policies did not sustain well, that is why they are coming into economic crisis. So the same way what EU is telling is that until unless Taliban change this particular mentality, we cannot go into a positive regime or positive foreign policy with Afghanistan. So in which we need assistance or we need help from India. That is what this article entirely about. So yeah, next. So yeah, this is all about the same thing. Like we have a same shared principle, same kind of democratic values, so you need to work with them, nothing more than that. So yeah, in this article, there was an RTI filed, okay. So there was an RTI, which is what is RTI? Right to information, okay, right to information. So any person can go and file this RTI, and there are certain kinds of regulations for that too, on who can file a RTI, and there should be a specific reason for filing the RTI which you need to mention, and apart from that reason you cannot use that information to any other kind. So all these are the restrictions on how you utilize or how you make use of the existing RTI. So currently what is the issue here is that Ambedkar letters of resignation is not available on record. So there was an RTI filed for providing a copy of Ambedkar resignation back then. So resignation of Ambedkar, who is Ambedkar back then? He was a law minister. He was an independent law minister who was won back then, and he was the person behind Constitution of India. So a person has asked that we need this particular resignation of Mr. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, which was submitted to the then president. So yeah, definitely ministers will be submitting their resignation to president only. So we need that particular record. So what government has told is that, sorry, PMO, Prime Minister Office has told that right now we don't have that records. So that record is missing. That is about this article, nothing more than it. Nothing is there. So you can just go read it. There is no other details mentioned. Next. So they have mentioned like a petitioner, and they haven't given who is the person back who has filed this particular RTA. Okay. Next. Yes. In eternal city, a river comes to die, a slow death under pollution. So important for your environment. Okay. So what is this article about? So in Lucknow, what do you have? Varanasi. So Varanasi is there. It receives its name Varanasi. A sea is the river flowing there. Okay. So currently this death of river is for a sea. Why is it being death? I mean, why that river is being under the edge of extinction? Because of rampant encroachments and administrative negligence. So it is a tributary of Ganga, minor tributary of Ganga. So currently the sea, the river fringes Varanasi on the south, gives the city part of its name, is dying a slow death. So the issue here is encroachments and administrative negligence, that you need to know. Okay. So when you are mentioning about protecting the rivers of India or environmental concerns because of developing urbanization, there you can mention this article. Okay. So yeah. So at the Lok Sabha constituency, Prime Minister Modi has hosted, main host of G20, all these details. Varanasi has strategic importance, and yet there are many new dozens of nalas carrying the city. So all these are not important. The basic important is that this particular ASI is going to be on an edge of slow death because of existing encroachments and administrative negligence. That is important, nothing more than that. Next. Yeah, this is again. So the matter of revitalizing, that means again regaining its actual figure, that means whatever it is existing back then, to make it again clean and lack of this particular dirt. So what has happened? This particular matter has been referred to Green Tribunal. Okay, it has been Green Tribunal 2010. So this was the organization which was formed in 2010, not a constitutional body, statutory body. So yeah, Green Tribunal, which constituted a committee to submit an action for restoration and regeneration. So restoration, regeneration of this particular river as sea has been mandated by whom? Green Tribunal. Okay, the report was submitted in mid-2020 and suggested a review to be conducted to understand the existing levels and encroachment in the catchments. The committee has said that the pollution in the river was more due to sewage rather than industrial effluents, and suggested pollution mapping to identify the source of pollution. So the issue was that I told you encroachments and the sewage nalas or the sewage drainage, whatever is there, it is being dumped into this particular river, and administration failure here. So they should be diverting this particular sewage into some other canals or some other underground passages, but it is being dumped into this particular river as sea. So to protect that, what Green Tribunal has told for, it has asked for a committee to prepare a proper report on that and an action for that. For who? For regeneration and restoration of that particular river as sea. Okay, that is about this article. Next. Manrega suffer a centers due to 14 states amount to 6,157 crores. So when I was explaining about your budget articles, I have mentioned that Manrega has also seen cut. So policy cut has been there for Manrega too, and they have told that yes, they have convergences with some other schemes as well. So Manregas are the allocatment of funds, or allocation of funds or allotment of funds for this particular Manregas has been reduced. Okay, fine. So yeah, what is this article says? With just over a month left for the current financial year to end. So you need to know this financial year. So we are in the last quarter of the financial year, right? So by March 31st, this fiscal year or financial year will be ending. So in the last month, the union government owes 6,157 crore to 14 states, and the material component head of the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, Manregas, that pay for wages and construction material for skilled labours. So 100 days of employment. So for that, they have seen that around 6,157 crores is the amount that is being pending from union government to be granted. For how many states? For 14 states. That's all. These are about other data mentioned. So the People's Action for Employment Guarantee, PAEG, in a recent statement said that over the past 5 years, 21% of the budget has been gone into clearing the arrears of previous years. As per the deductions, the arrears amount to be roughly 25% of the outlay in 22-23 because of the existing deductions, and also this year also the deductions has been there. And what these people has told is that PAEG has mentioned is that every year whatever the budget that is being allocated, almost 20% of the amount is being consumed as arrears. That means for the previous year, whatever is the amount that is being left over to be distributed to the people, that amount is being consumed through this the next year's budget. So the same way it shows, they have told that around 25% is the amount that is still being pending as arrears, okay, to be given to its people. So that is again criticism on lack of funds and delaying of funds to Manrega. Okay, next. So again with the budget cut, yeah, this is all not required. So the budget cuts and added burden on January 1st of recording attendance of a mobile application, National Mobile Monitoring System, Manrega Sangharsh Morcha, a consortium of activities across the country working in this field, has announced a protest march in Delhi. So what happened basically, there was a issues that whoever are going to this particular Manrega, they have to give a mobile application recording attendance. So they have to give a thumb or recording attendance, that can be your iris scan. So there should be a mandatory iris scan. So all this kind of technological backup is again reducing the efficiency of existing program. But I would say that this will definitely not reduce, maybe until the people are accustoming to the change in digital world, change in or growing digitalization. So till that literacy levels of digital literacy, basically the digital literacy till it is being achieved, this kind of discrepancies will be there, but later on this will be the efficient manner of delivery of services from the government. Okay. So yeah, this can be a negative point here as of now, but in future that would be an add-on. So similar case even in the IR in industrial revolutions also back then the same kind of issue has been happened. But the growing issue is that lack of allocation of funds is a growing issue for Manrega. Next, yes, our internal security border issues comes both in your IR and internal security. What is the issue? China planning Aksai Chin railway line to connect Tibet and Xinjiang. So China is working near Aksai Chin, which place? Near LAC, line of actual control. So there they are going to build a rail network. So whenever an infrastructure, in the previous week I think, where Mr. Jaishankar, our external minister, has announced that we are currently focusing on more and more infrastructure development in our bordering countries. Why? Because we need to sustain or we need to protect our borders. So in the same way, why China is doing this? Land grab, which was mentioned by Parliament. Some minister has mentioned that China's land grab. So to maintain that land grabbing from different other countries, it is again trying to build infrastructure in these occupied lands. So and also connecting Tibet and Xinjiang. So here China soon begin construction an ambitious railway line connecting to Xinjiang and Tibet that will run close to the line of actual control. So it is not in the line of actual control, but it is close to the line of actual control. So once this project has been started, then we need to know whether it has really crossed that line of actual control or not. Okay. So yeah, and through the disputed Aksai Chin region, and definitely it is going through Aksai Chin region. So it has crossed our border near Aksai Chin region, whereas in LAC it did not go for that. Okay, you need to understand. So just go through the map of Aksai Chin and LAC, then you will get clear idea on this. So it is trying to build a new railway plan by the Tibet Autonomous Region TAR government. So the medium to long railway railway plan for Tibet made public last week, and it is expanding the TAR railway network to reach 4,000 kilometers by 2025, up from 1,400, including new routes that will run up China borders with India and Nepal. So the borders which are touching India and Nepal, in these areas also the rail line will be increased 2 kilometers from 1,400 to 4,000 kilometers by the target year 2025. So that is about this particular article. So Aksai Chin is the area where we have disputes with China and LAC too. Next. So this is about the detailing of that particular region, which is not required as of for your exam, but if you are going to read it, that's enough. Okay. Next. Yes, another issue. So far we have discussed that China's air balloon has been shot, right? China's air balloon has been shot in US. It was a civilian surveillance told by China, whereas America alleged that it was not a surveillance, that is not a civilian purpose air balloon, but it is a surveillance mode spy balloon which is being launched by keeping a target of 40 other more countries including US. That is what US has claimed in a public media. And after the claiming, there was another, see, after 2 downings, US jet shoots down the new mystery object over Canada. So again there was another mysterious object that is being flying in Canada at the altitude of 40,000 kilometers, and it is being shot. See, around 40,000 feet, not kilometers, 40,000 feet. Okay. So yeah, US fighter jet shot down an unidentified object over Canada on Saturday, the second such incident in North America's skies since the dramatic downing of a suspected Chinese spy balloon in a week ago. So within a week ago that was being shot, again there was some other spy or unidentified object that is being flew in which place? Canada. Okay. So yeah, the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in a joint US-Canadian military operation led to take down the object, the latest in a series of mysterious intrusions. So if it is really a particular civilian purpose surveillance, then why a lot of issues are coming? That means why accidents are more, accidental incidents of traveling from one country border to some other country borders, why is it happening? So, there can be an intentional motive of some other countries or China also. Okay. So, we cannot draw into conclusions, but it will be known soon. Okay. So, they have used this particular F-22 to shoot it, aircraft, so they have used it, nothing more than that. They fired that particular object. So, it was flying around 40,000 feet, that is all. Next. So, Arab leaders warn Israeli actions in West Bank, Jerusalem threaten regional turmoil. So, what is the issue here? Dozens of leaders, senior officials from Arab Islamic countries warned on Saturday that Israeli actions in Jerusalem and the occupied West Bank could worsen region turmoil. So, this was a growing ties or growing issues between Israel and Jerusalem. So, where Israel trying to occupy these particular places, and they have told, the Arab leaders have told that because of which it would be causing the regional turmoils. So, the region wise there will be a lot of instability. So, India is not much involved into this. So, just you need to know that currently there is being issues with Israel and Jerusalem. Nothing is more than required. If India is being involved, then we need to discuss about it. Okay. So, yeah, speakers of the meeting condemned Israel's unilateral measures in Jerusalem and the West Bank in statements including the home demolitions of expanding settlements. So, what they are going to? They are targeting even the civilians, and they have started demolishments of existing infrastructure, that can be the home buildings or anything. They are demolishing it and then trying to occupy near Jerusalem, which can be a lot of instability in that particular area. Okay, that is about this article. So, yeah, there was no immense comment from Israel's government. So, we haven't got any official commentary on that particular issue as of now. Okay, next. So, I think that's it for today. We have some other articles. Yeah. Okay. All smart cities mission projects to be ready by next month. So, 22 in number of cities including Agra, Varanasi, Chennai, Pune, Ahmedabad that are expected to complete all projects in the government ambitious smart cities mission. So, for the smart cities mission, 22 other cities are being included, that you need to understand. Okay. Go refer what is this smart cities mission. Next. 1 lakh villages have been achieved ODF plus status in the country. What is ODF? Open defecation free. So, open defecation free plus is the one which is a program under Swachh Bharat mission. So, 1.8 in lakh are the number of villages in the country which has achieved this ODF plus target. So, there is ODF and that has been achieved. Now, ODF plus is the target achieved by 1.8 lakh, and there is something other called ODF plus plus 2. So, that is still under work. Okay? Know the difference. Next. Status so far according to the official drinking water and sanitation department. Swachh Bharat mission, Swachh Bharat Gramin, that means targeting villages. Phase 2 was launched with the aim of all villages in the country can declare themselves as ODF plus by the end of 2024. So, what is the target for ODF plus? By 2024, all the villages that is present in the country would be open defecation free by plus by 2024. Okay. Next. Indian Army to spend around 130 billion in capital procurement. So, in the capital procurement, that means in machinery or any kind of asset creation in terms of our army. So, in defense sector, procurement would be how much? Around 2.58 lakh crore, the worth of India's indigenous defense production in the last 3 years. So, in the last 3 years, our defense indigenous production was costing around 2.58 lakh crore. The Indian Armed Forces are projected to spend around 130 billion more. So, the current target for the next 5 years for the procurement of other countries' technologies would be 130 billion, whereas currently in India the indigenous defense production for the last 3 years was 2.5 lakh crore, that you need to understand. So, all these are figures can be added when your defense related any topic is there. Okay. So, currently defense wise S&T is an expected question, that is why I am discussing about those data. Defense foreign policies this year will pose a good number of questions, because we have G20, we have different other foreign policies that India is doing very vibrantly this year. Okay. Next, the saga of appointing Justice Victoria Gauri. So, I'll tell you very briefly what has happened. So, she has posted some online content which was triggering certain sections. Okay, so there was certain kinds of hate speech that she has mentioned. Now, she has been given a particular position as an additional judge for Madras High Court. Okay, so the collegium has given a green signal for appointing Victoria Gauri as an additional judge for Madras High Court. So, that was the issue. Okay, she was appointed, fine. So, when this issue has come, people have questioned that she was showing or she has put something in social media which will come under hate speech. So, what is the method of or what is the memorandum of procedure of collegium system of appointing or of appointing your judges? So, that is what the growing issue that has been come from Parliament or Union Government and Judiciary. So, the Parliament has questioned Judiciary and what is your memorandum of procedure? What is the way that you are choosing your own judges? When you know that she is giving certain kinds of hate speech, then what is your eligibility and suitability cases? So, yesterday, not yesterday and day before yesterday's class I told you, there are two things. One is eligibility, one is suitability for appointing one particular judge. Says who? Chief Justice. So, he has mentioned that through articles guaranteed through constitution, we will check for the eligibility, whereas the suitability deals with, so through article 217 I think, just a moment, yeah, through 217, so through article 2172, it will deal with how to choose a particular person as a judiciary or a particular judge of a high court, whereas the suitability deals with their character, everything like character, their integrity, their knowledge, their capability, all this will be dealt through suitability and it is under the ambient of judiciary only, and the collegium system is beyond the purview of judicial review. That is what they have stated. So, all these points are important. They have again mentioned the same thing here. So, you can just go through this. Okay. See, the bench distinguish between suitability and eligibility of a candidate which zeroed for HC judgeship. So, the eligibility was based on objective factors given in article 2172. What is that? 10 years of experience in the judicial body, being a citizen of India. Okay, and the age should be less than the retiring age. So, for High Court it is 62. Okay. So, before that they can be appointed into any kind of High Court. Okay. So, in the same way, so 10 years of experience as judicial or same thing. So, then the suitability of a candidate was the domain of the collegium. So, it is ambient or it is a responsibility of collegium to check on one particular judge's suitability, on how it is involved in the procedure of designing to test the fitness of a person, including her character, integrity, competence, knowledge and whatsoever. Okay. So, that is what they have stated and they have appointed her as what? Additional judge of Madras High Court. Okay, fine. So, in this there are growing issues where currently executives are being questioned that please tell me what is your method of procedure, how you are, what is your memorandum of procedure, how you are going to appoint, what are the qualities that you are taking into consideration. So, in the written reply they have mentioned the same and so far in the near future there will be certain kinds of procedures on which they have followed. So, they are trying to make the unique collegium, the opaque collegium system behavior to transparent one, that you need to understand. So, reforms will be undergone, that you need to understand. Next, yeah, the same thing is mentioned here. So, not required, we can just go. So, this is actually involved in with a particular company Apple. So, I would just give you what is the definition and then we can wind up this particular session. What is the article about? What are the micro LED displays? So, there is another technology that is being used by Apple. So, we will know what is this existing technology. For as of your science tech, again this technology is growing, technology is important. So, that you need to know. How is micro LED technology different from the earlier screen display technology? When is the Cupertino based company debuting its new technology and in which all the projects, that is about this particular article. In this we will deal with what? What is micro LED? So, Apple shift to micro LED display technology is reportedly under the process, considered as a big transition in the display technology, and it is self-illuminating So auto illuminating diode which have brighter and better color reproduction than the organic light emitting diode. Than OLED, it will have self illuminating diode which will be brighter, more user friendly, you can tell. So user friendly or user acceptable rate. Apple is currently working on the new display technology and plans to implement the same in the future starting from 2024. So what is this technology? So basis of micro LED technology are sapphires. Sapphire, you know that sapphire stone can shine on its own forever. So that is the place where they are starting to build your self illuminating diode, where sapphire stone is being used, which will be illuminating on its own forever. So they are working on that. The sapphire can shine on its own. The micro LED screen is filled with such a small but strong light. So the picture in the micro LED screen is generated by several individual light emitting diodes. Obviously you have different kinds of diode semiconductor devices present in your mobile phone, out of which the micro LED is the one which will be in your display screen. Okay. Next. So that is what about this micro LED, and what is the advantage of it? Micro LED have limitless scalability as they are resolution free, bezel free, ratio free and even size free. So resolution free, that means whatever the way you shoot, your resolution will be same. Next, ratio free. So it's about you to choose your ratio of the picture, length and breadth. Are you able to understand? So it will not confine yourself for the given length and breadth. Bezel free and resolution free. So size free also. The screen can be freely resized into any form of practical usage. So if you are able to, you want it in a legal frame, then of course you can get in a legal frame. Portrait mode, and now you are already getting it, but it will be in a more advanced way. That's all. Next. So in addition, it will be self-emissive, and micro LEDs also individually produce red, green, blue colors without needing the same backlighting or color filters. So another thing that you need to know is that when it is self-illuminating, then the power discharge will be less, technically, if you think. So when it is already illuminating, do they need any charge to make it more brighter? No. So very less power consumption will be there, which will increase the efficiency of your battery. And next thing is that this particular micro LEDs produce itself red, green and blue colors without needing the same backlighting or color filters as conventional displays. So for the conventional displays, without that black, green lighting and all, it can work on its own because of uses of stone sapphire. Next, the electronic company is currently working on the world's most advanced manufacturer of displays and has been producing its own version of micro LED for TVs. So currently who is working on that? Samsung has already been using this micro LEDs, and now this is being implemented into mobile technologies by whom? Apple. That is about this particular article. As of now, that is about today's article. If you have any doubts, you can pose me, else we can wind up the session. Yes, that's it. Online, please let me know if you have any doubts, else we can wind up the session. Online, students Burhan, Navya Sahiti, Sindhu, any doubts so far? I think, yeah, fine. Okay, that's it for today's article. Thank you for the session.